Hello everybody, it's Aaran back from Screenstars, and I'm here once again to do another review for Geek Legion of Doom. And today I'm here to review the 2014 horror film P.O.V, a film that is written and directed by Richard Anthony Dunford, and it stars Tom Clear, Carl Kennedy Williams, Jamie Langlands, and Lewis Saunderson. Now the film focuses on, it's got a unique premise, I'll say that first. It is filmed entirely from one character's point of view, P.O.V, hence the title. And the only other film I am aware of this doing, I think there's probably a couple more that have done it since, is the Hardcore Henry film that came out in 2015. So this came out before that, or it was certainly filmed before that anyway. So it's filmed entirely from one character's perspective, the Zack character. Now Zack is a young chap who has just had his heart broken. His brother and a few of his friends decide to kind of throw this weekend bender at an abandoned residential home. So they're throwing this wild party over the weekend to try and take his mind off this, that and the other. However, they discover while they're at this party that this residential home comes with a very, very dark history. And that history comes back to haunt this Zack character and everybody else at the party. Right. What are my thoughts on P.O.V? Well, this is quite, as I've said, quite a unique premise, a unique perspective on a film like this. If you've seen Hardcore Henry and you wasn't taken by that, then this probably won't do it for you. It's quite jarring to see everything from just one character's perspective, and it doesn't always work. You can see why it hasn't really picked up this twist on the found footage genre. No, it's not found footage, of course it's not found footage, but it looks like found footage because it's like looks like someone's filming something all the time, but it's not. You're supposed to be seeing everything through that person's eyes. So once you kind of get over that hurdle and accept the film for the way it's presenting itself, you do kind of settle and enjoy it a little bit more. Now, this isn't an action film like Hardcore Henry. This is a horror film. So it is, for a large chunk of the runtime of this film, it is just you looking through this character's eyes, interacting with a lot of these other characters in a car initially, and then at this residential home when they're kind of setting up the party and starting the party, all this kind of stuff. And that's it, really. It's not enthralling stuff. And then one of the characters throws in the story about the residential home that they'd heard from somebody about its dark history and dark past, which just felt a little bit convenient. It maybe would have been better, I don't know, to kind of explain the history of the building in a better way by, I don't know, watching a YouTube video or something like that. You know, someone heard a rumour, so they research it there and then on YouTube. I don't know, I'm just throwing out ideas there, but it just kind of feel like, you know, the kind of thing they used to do in the 80s, people sat around a campfire telling ghost or horror stories, and then lo and behold, they come true, these stories. It felt a little bit like that. It felt a little bit forced in regards to how it tried to explain itself. And frankly, most of the people at this party were deeply dislikable. I mean, maybe that's the youth of today, I suppose, but not many of them were likable. One in particular, the Sam character, his brother, played by Carl Kennedy Williams, who I'm sure is a nice chap in real life, but he plays a real arse in this film, and actually plays it quite well. So, you know, hats off to you. You do a good job of it, making a really dislikable character. But there's two or three characters in this film that you really struggle to relate to or have any kind of relationship with, because they're just so far removed from who you might be as a person. And some of them actually feel like caricatures as well. You know, you get the drink and drugs passed around, and then some of them throwing themselves at this Zack character, one in particular. And then it became for me a little bit dull. And then when things started happening, okay, it did start picking up, you know. You started seeing some freaky stuff going on, some weird stuff going on. didn't necessarily explain itself. The only real explanation you got is, like I say, these vague story that was being told early on by one particular character, and then it all kind of kicks off in this residential home, and it all goes a bit mad, and then it becomes, or it felt like to be more like a found footage film, because it becomes chaotic. Then, you get this Zack character running through corridors, falling over stuff, getting attacked left, right, and centre, pushing people away. The back turned, the characters with a back turned to you, and then turning around, and then you seeing freaky stuff and all that kind of stuff. And then it became, like I say, more in tune with what you would expect from a found footage type film. So while I would hesitate to call this found footage, it certainly, as a found footage fan myself, it felt a little bit like a found footage film, but it definitely isn't a found footage film. It's a FPS film, and those of you who out there who do gaming will know exactly what I mean by that. It is quite jarring to watch in that perspective, because you're just seeing everything really from one character's perspective. But overall, I thought it was a decent attempt to give us something a little bit new, a little bit original. I thought the performances by everybody really were of a decent standard, even if I didn't enjoy the characters. And there was some, reasonably impressive practical effects going on as well. So it's fairly effective in one hand and not in another, if that makes any sense to you. Which is why I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. I'm giving it right down the middle. Something a little bit different for you horror fans out there, especially those fans of found footage. So I hope you enjoyed the review. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to call back on the channel for loads more content and reviews very, very soon.